Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? So, hi, I hope you're having a great week. Happy new moon, beautiful new moon yesterday. Today, we are talking about sacred visibility, inviting invisible help. Hi, Caroline, lovely to see you here. So, and if we haven't met before, if you're watching this recording replay and we haven't met before, hi, I'm Reenak Aiken. I'm Deep Dive Visibility Mentor, and I help visionary leaders like you, soulful business owners, creatives, to overcome the fear of putting yourself out there, taking it to the next level so you can have the impact that you were born to have. And today, this is a beautiful time to be, talking about this topic of sacred visibility, inviting invisible help, because one of the things we're going to be doing is crafting a ritual to help you get in the zone when you show up, to put yourself out there and talk about what you do and how you help others. And it's such a rich, creative time after the beautiful new moon that we had yesterday. So it feels like it's a perfect time to deepen our connection with these sacred presences that can help us. So I know this was something that I struggled with for a long time, and I'd love to hear your experience, of many people who love to do deep transformational work, coaches, facilitators, those who are really at home in the invisible realms and who often struggle with conventional forms of becoming visible because can sometimes be seen as shallow and not. I love my deep work, but I'm not so in love with it, the marketing stuff that I have to do. So share your experience. Hi Leontine, lovely to see you here. Is that your experience? Do you love doing deep transformation but find it hard to present yourself in the world to others in a way, to promote your offerings or yourself or what it is that you love? And it might be that you love holding a deep, intuitive, transformational space for your clients or maybe for your family or your friends. But it's hard to get in that zone, and when it comes to putting yourself out there, you freeze. That was my experience for many, many years, that I would literally just completely freeze if I had to put myself out there. And I just was like, oh, why can't the world just, send me people so I don't have to do that work. I don't have to put myself out there. So, but what I sense is possible and what I've discovered, and I really feel like we're exploring this, that this is a leading edge. This is something that we're co-creating together, this conversation. So I'm really excited about this topic today. I really feel, and I've experienced it at times, and I experience it more and more, that it's possible for the messaging, the marketing, the promotion of what we do to be as deep and transformational as the work we facilitate. It might not be as deep as a retreat or as deep as a one-to-one session, but it can still have that energy that lights us up and that plays to our strengths as transformational experts. So what's your experience around this? Hi, Anne, lovely to see you here. What's your experience around this, around, sharing your wisdom in a way that you feel really, really connected to your muse? So I know everything changed for me, and there's a poem that's a real mission poem for me. I may have shared it before, but I want to share about this here to get us in the zone for creating sacred visibility, because this speaks a lot about it. So it's David Whyte, What to Remember When Waking. In that first hardly noticed moment in which you wake, coming back to this life from the other, more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest world where everything began. There is a small opening into the day that closes the moment you begin your plans. What you can plan is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. To be human is to become visible while carrying what's hidden as a gift to others. To remember the other world in this world is to live in your true inheritance. You are not a troubled guest on this earth. You are not an accident. Amidst other accidents, you were invited from another and greater night than the one from which you have just emerged. Now, looking through the slanting light of the morning window towards the mountain presence of everything that can be, what urgency calls you to your one love? What seed waits in the heart of you to grow and spread its branches against a future sky? Is it waiting in the fertile sea, in the trees beyond the house, in the life you can imagine for yourself, in the open and lovely white page on the waiting desk? And so I love this poem, and especially those lines: to be human is to become visible while carrying what's hidden as a gift to others. Or to remember the other world and this world is to live in your true inheritance. And I have a sense that those of us who are called to bring transformational work into the world, that this is what we're called to do. And I feel that we are together exploring how we do this through showing up and being visible. And this is what's possible. I know this is, when I discovered this, particularly transformational poetry, I suddenly wanted to step forward and speak in front of others. When I, realized that I could call in the divine presences to be with me when I did anything like that, that I suddenly felt safe to show up. So I sense that these forms of visionary visibility that we are pioneering together here in this group, and that I really feel is my work to be hosting a conversation around this. Not that I'm going to discover it all. I'm so interested in what is it for you? What is it? What is your version of this? This is the new paradigm visibility. This is what's possible, rather than the old ways of pushing and scarcity and wanting to get something from people. This is the sacred invitation. This is what we're here to create. So tell me about your experience. I'd love to hear, what have you been finding challenging? Do you find that creating your sacred visibility is as in flow for you as the deep work that you do, when you've had those moments of being in the zone? Or is it something that isn't quite there yet, that you're still struggling to get that on a par with, when you're in your zone? I'd love to hear from you about that. And this is something that I'm still exploring. I'm just going to check to see if my Facebook frozen. No, it's still there. This is something that I'm still discovering. I want to share a story about this for me. So because, how do we boost our connection with Source to really ignite our connection with others. So recently I was recording a video, not a live video, but I was doing a recording of a video, and I was speaking a poem, and it was an invitation to the retreat that I'm doing in June in the Netherlands. And this was a bit of a stretch for me. I was, wanted to speak a whole poem. It was a long, kind of 4-minute poem from my heart, not reading it, but from my heart. And I'd never done a poem as an invitation to an event before. So it was a bit of a stretch for me. And I was, I prepared, I had been embodying the poem and living with it. And I was ready to do the video, and I hit record and I did the first take, and it was really flat, and I made fluffs and mistakes, and I didn't feel in the zone. I was going to go, what's going on? I was prepared for this. And then I remembered, I've forgotten. I've forgotten my normal ritual of calling in the energies, of calling in and setting up a sacred space. So I did that, and because this was a bit of a stretch, I lit a candle, I really set a clear intention, and did it in attunement before going back and doing another take. And it was a huge difference. I really felt in the flow. I felt so connected to myself, to this energy that was supporting me, and I really felt connected to the people I was speaking to on the video. So even I forget, and when we're stretching to the next level, we need to go this as well. So let me just look at the comments. Anna saying, just starting out in a very new path. Caroline, great to have this conversation here. I'm diving into marketing these days, and it is a struggle to stay very authentic to what I want to do and bring, and at the same time being willing to learn from the proven techniques. Absolutely. Yes, there are great things that we can learn, and then it's like, how do we infuse them with our own magic? Because that's beautiful, and I love that you're naming that, Caroline. There are, ways of communicating that work more effectively, and there are, people who teach those effective strategies. And then we also want to add the superpowers, which is the magic, the method behind the magic. And that's what I'm teaching you today, a bit of the method behind the magic, how you can really ignite and boost what you've already planning, what you already know how to do. Hi, Marie Cecile, lovely to see you here as well. So that's the, so the first point is to being able to open up a space to amplify this, and realizing that it's possible. It's possible to prepare for your visibility activities as if you were preparing to do, some other deep transformational work, or set an intention for something that you want to create. It's the same principle. We just forget, just like me. I still forget sometimes. Mostly I always do it. So the second point here is this, what I call 3-part attention. And this is something I'm going into much more deeply on the retreat that I'm doing in June. But I want to give you an experience today of where our attention is when we are showing up. Because there's a way to be deeply connected to ourselves, to a greater wisdom, and to others. And this is what I call the full spectrum visibility. But I want to start by inviting you to think about, when you do go to show up, to write a post, to write a blog, to record a video, to give an event, or write an email, or plan your video. I just invite you to step into a situation, where you've done that, and just notice, where was your attention, when you do that, or when you've done it in the past. It could be a job interview, it could be, an important conversation. So, but, where you're presencing yourself. So is your attention fully on others and what's going on with them? Or is your attention more in yourself, like on your head, what you're planning, or in your feelings, but maybe not so connected with the others. Or it might be that, you are getting spiritual and, connecting with the field and with your intention, but then you don't necessarily feel also so connected with others at the same time. So just want you to just notice. So, post in the chat, what is this for you? Where do you notice your attention habitually is when you go to show up and do these kinds of visibility activities, whatever that is for you? And what's your experience around that? So just post something about what you notice your attention is. So what I'm gonna invite you into is a practice where you can have your attention in more than one place. And it really opens up and amplifies your power and brings in all of those different parts of us as well. Okay, Caroline is saying, I tend to forget to connect with my audience. Yes, beautiful. That's a really great observation. Sometimes we can get connected to ourselves and what we want to say, and sometimes we're very self-conscious. It's like, oh, I have to get this right. We kind of go into, perfectionism, and we forget, to connect with the audience. So this is a process to how you can really connect much more deeply with your audience. And then after this, we'll go into creating our ritual. So just take a moment. Let's have an experience of this here. Just taking some deep breaths. Breathing your awareness down, deeper into your body. Just letting go of anywhere your attention has been so far today. So you can be fully present with all your attention inside yourself. Coming all the way down into your heart, into your belly, and down into your hips. And really being present with your inner world. Notice what you're feeling, what you're thinking. How is your body? Maybe it wants to wiggle and move. My body wants to move. But just really feeling connected, that your whole body awareness is centered down into your hips. And what is it that you can feel and sense and know from being deeply connected to yourself? Yeah, I notice that I'm more aware of what I'm feeling. I'm more aware of my physical body. And things become quieter in my mind. So that's a nice feeling. What is it for you? And so now, and that's the first attention. First attention is deep inside yourself. And in this 3-part attention practice, just your second attention, imagine you were a tree and you've just had all your attention on the trunk of the tree. You're coming deeply into your trunk, into your core. And now your second attention is expanding out deeply down into the edges of your roots and out into the edges of your branches and twigs and leaves. So your energy is expanding out into the edges of your field. And you're connecting with the earth through your roots. You're connecting with the air, with the universe through your leaves and your branches. And so just feeling that you can connect out to this greater field of the universe. And feeling this expanded sense of what is it to be wide out into your room. What is it that you sense and that you know when your awareness is out wide around you into the field. Maybe you have a sense of access to greater wisdom, a sense of connection to the universe. It might be a sense of flowing like the branches in the wind. Just notice what you sense out here. What can you know and feel with your awareness out here? This is your second attention on the field, connecting with the greater intelligence. So your first attention is deep inside your body, your trunk. Your second attention is out into the room, like the branches and leaves and roots of a tree. And now from here, imagine placing your third attention on the others, whatever it is in that situation. It might be your audience. It might be somebody you're speaking to. But from here, placing your third attention is on the other. And imagine extending out from your belly to connect with the others and feeling and sensing them. And the trees do this through, they have a mycelium network, a fungal network that the tree can connect out to the whole forest. So just sensing this connection out to the others, and you're really sensing them. What is it that they need? What is it that they're feeling? You know, being really present with them, becoming aware of their inner life, their perspective, their experience. And just what can you be aware of when your third attention is out on others? And how does this inform how you show up? What is it like to be in their shoes? So your first attention is deep inside yourself. Your second attention is wide into the field. And your third attention is now available to extend into connection with the others. So, and just notice, what opens up when you have this three-part attention, when you can fully connect. And I'd love you to experiment with this, to take this in, but just when you're ready, coming back and just posting in the chat what you noticed shifted when you had your attention in all of these places at the same time, and how this might influence how you show up. Because some of the mistakes that we make is, we can be, especially when we're self-conscious, especially when we want to get it right, a lot of our attention is on ourselves. It might be in our head, it might be in the planning, it might be all the things that we've got to pay attention to practically, if you're recording a video, for example. Or it might be in your feelings. You might be feeling self-conscious, you might be feeling excited, but all your focus is on yourself. Or you could be second guessing yourself. You're dealing with that inner critic that we've been addressing. And it might be that you can create perfect content, but it doesn't create connection with others. Or it might be that you're connected to the field, you're out there, you're feeling really inspired, you're connected to the universe, but it might be a little bit ungrounded and floaty and doesn't always land with others in the way we imagine it will. Or we might have all our attention on the others, that we're worried about what they will think. We really want them to have, a certain experience where we want to please others, but we lose our connection with ourselves, and then we don't feel so authentic. So this is not about doing it perfectly. Experiment, see what works for you, and let me know. I would love to see what opens up. Okay, Carolyn saying, their love becomes available for me. Third level, beautiful, beautiful. And then you're connecting with the best of your audience rather than imagining the hostile audience. You can really connect from your center to theirs. So their love becomes available to me. That's beautiful. Leontine is saying, feeling my body straightening up by doing this 3-step practice. Beautiful. That's a really good sign. Like the tree, nice, beautiful big trunk and centered in yourself. Vlada, feeling myself complete and grounded and my belly expands, having more space. Beautiful. Marisa saying, loving your moon earrings. Thank you. Yes, I'll let you know where I got them from. They're made by a friend of my sister's in Ireland. So as we're talking about sacred visibility, I thought let me wear my sacred earrings. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me. So the last point that we want to cover today, so we've done the, shifting it to bringing transformational expertise into showing up with the visibility, shifting where our awareness is so that we can do that. So we get in that magic zone to how this can happen and understanding the bits that are missing when it's not happening. So the last part is crafting your ritual for showing up to help you get in the zone. And that 3-part attention that we've done, that can be, part of the inner practice. But it's also beautiful to create a ritual to make your messaging as transformational as your sacred work. So, when I am doing a session with somebody or running a group, I always create a sacred space first. And I'm sure you have your own way of doing this for yourself or with others. So what is that for you? It might be lighting a candle. It might be, burning some incense or sage or essential oils. It might be using some sacred essences. A friend of mine gave me this gorgeous bottle called Sacred Space. It's a flower essence for creating sacred space. It might be playing music. It might be you have an inspiring song. I have my inspiration playlist that helps me get in the zone. It might be a poem. It might be connecting with your mission statement, your vision, your why, your purpose to really ignite, this is why I'm doing this. It might be connecting with nature, getting out for a walk, with your dog or in the woods, or on the beach. So what is it for you? What is it that ignites your connection? Do you have any rituals already that you use to get in the zone, either for meditating or for doing deep work with others? You can do this, when you're going to sit to write that post, to write that video, to show up on video. I do this, generally remember to do this before every video that I do or every post that I write, and then set an intention. So direct invitation to call in the higher beings, these invisible helpers, to, and there's a specific form of words that you can use and you can craft your own to make sure that you're only inviting those higher beings and not allowing in the lower vibrations. And this creates incredibly sacred space, tangible, that you can feel. And then that creates so much safety for you to show up as your authentic self. It's a really, really powerful practice. So I've had a gorgeous question from somebody in my community about this when I said we were going to be talking about this. So Marisa said, music to center myself, and often I write on music mantras most of the time. So beautiful. So you're writing when you've got music and you're bringing in mantras. Beautiful. But a question from somebody in my community about this topic, and she's saying there's a network of, when I say calling in invisible help, there's a network of presences out there. There's higher beings, there's nature spirits, but there are also human spirits, ghosts, maybe other astral presences or entities. And her question was, how can I invite the genuine and benign ones, the presences, into my creative space to feel supportive and in flow with my writing and presenting? That's a gorgeous question. So I'm going to share with you my practice for my intention for when I'm showing up to create content with and for a group. So, and I will share this text with you in the chat as well. So, but my process is I speak it out loud to what I call divine intelligence, but you can call it source, universe, whatever your word is. I would love to see your attunement process. So here it is, divine intelligence. Partner with me now. Manifest within, through, and around me. To connect with all those who will, and then put in, watch this video, read this post, attend this event, whatever it is for you, at any moment in time, to assist them to embrace the flow of our divine brilliance, connect with the wisdom of our hearts, come into alignment with our soul's purpose, step forward to share our gifts and shine our light in the world, and release any barriers that limit that flow and connection. I call upon the divine intelligence I am and the divine I am intelligence of all of those who will attend this event, watch this video, read this post, whatever that is, and all of our angels, teachers, and guides, and any being or consciousness who knows us through a connection of pure love and is aligned with original source, to be here with us, bringing through guidance, direction, and support. And you might say, I especially call for assistance from, and if you have any particular essences or energies or archetypes or guides that you want to call in, you can bring that in if you're guided to do so. And I direct that the space that we occupy, the room, the building, the surroundings, the virtual network we use to connect, is completely infused with divine love, divine light, divine truth, and divine wisdom as we continue. Thank you, and so it is, and so it shall be. So that's my process for creating a sacred space and attuning myself. I would love to hear what yours is. And we just copied this and post it in the chat. There we go. So Marie Cecile is saying, this is precious, such a great approach. Yes, and and what I would really invite you to, if you already do groups or one-to-one work or transformational work, because I know many of you do, what process do you use to set up a sacred space, to bring your magic for that? And how can you adapt that in your own way for the sacred visibility? So I'd love to hear, if you already have a ritual, or what are you inspired to create or to add to what you already do, create your own sacred visibility ritual to get you in the zone. So I'd love to hear them. So share them in the group, either in the comments here, or create a new post and share them. We learn so much from each other here. What I've created, I've learned from others as well as my own intuition, and it constantly evolves. So, we're discovering our own way brilliantly and imperfectly here. So, yeah, the unseen beautiful. So gorgeous. So, have you got any other questions on this? Put them in the comment. Let me know what this sparks for you, and do share your own existing processes, because that adds so much richness to the conversation. Because really, and the other thing I would say is, we don't have to do this perfectly. We can do this very imperfectly, and still it can make a huge difference. So I really encourage you to do that. So the three-part attention practice that I talked through today, that's something that I'm going to be going a lot more deeply into in my Feminine Superpowers retreat in June. So if you are interested in doing something like that with me, do book in for a call. with me, or check out the retreat page, renachaiken.com, and embody your feminine superpowers, or book in for a call, renachaiken.com breakthrough session, to have a chat with me about going even more deeply into this. I know we go deep in these deep dives, but when we go into, an even deeper container, we really have time to go fully into this, to integrate it, to embody it, and for it to become the new normal. And on that retreat, I know we're also going to be doing some very deep work on healing the wounds of not being seen, particularly for women, which are really deep. So if you'd love to have a chat with me about that, or anything else that I offer or that I'm creating, I would love to have a chat with you. So that's it for today. And yes, great. Yeah, you can come back and watch this again and see how it will help your exploration. And I will see you next week. And also let me know, what other topics would you love to see in these deep dives? And I will speak to you again soon. Have a great week.